Alright, well, it's another Cutlass video. And another fairly beautiful day in Florida. You can tell by the puddles. We've had some rain. And if you saw the video where I was working on the airboat in the rain, yeah, that's some of the things we deal with here in Florida. Of course, like we had that thing inside, we're working on it, getting it all ready to go. Back it outside to warm it up, change the oil in it, and then got rained on. Anyways, it is what it is. But today might be a very big day for the Cutlass, because the body is gonna come down on the car again, and I'm going to work on the main hoop. That's kind of a big deal. So I do need to trim out a little bit here, because I'm wanting the main hoop to be right in line with that post there. But once I do that, I think I can bend a main hoop for this thing. And that is very exciting. Very, very exciting. Because I'll do the main hoop, do the lower bar across it, and then from that lower bar it'll tie to the Marilat cross member there. Yeah, well, let's stop talking about it and get to work. All right, well, obviously you can tell it's still a mess from when I was working on this thing in the last video. And what I'm trying to do is get ahead one video so that it's not such a panic situation where I run out of time to film something. And as you guys know, I hear a helicopter. And speaking of helicopters, around a week from now, because I'm not exactly sure when this video will come out, around a week from now is the Freedom 500, where the winner wins a helicopter. I'm hoping that winner is me. I would love to have a helicopter. Get my helicopter license. And I've been working on my private pilot's license, which is kind of news to the channel. But I've been super busy with work and stuff and have not wrapped that up. Because for those of you that have your pilot's license, you know it takes a lot of studying. So cars have been winning out over airplanes here recently, and it just is what it is. But anyway, Freedom 500 coming up. Live on the pay-per-view at CletusMcFarland.com, baldeagle.com, freedomplus.com. I don't know all these different websites, but he's got a lot of them. I'm sure just a Google search will get you there. Going to be a really good roster of drivers again. A lot of big names. Hopefully I can win another one. Because let's see, the last Freedom 500 I won. Well, I won the Freedom 500 and then I've won the Indy 800. All right, enough jibber jabbering. I'm going to do some measuring, lower the body down, maybe clean up my mess a little bit, and move the welder, put up my port power, do a lot of little things to get working on this thing. And for too long, Will's going to be here. He's off today, so we're going to tag team some work on the old Cutlass. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Back to work. All right, so a quick time lapse to start the video off. And like you guys said in the last Cutlass video where I asked, your thoughts on voiceover versus just the music for the time lapses, you guys mostly said that you preferred the when I could do a voiceover. So that's what we're starting off with today. And hey, there's Will. Will made it to the shop. And it's kind of cool to have some buddies come work on your own car with you. Hopefully you guys can have that same experience with working on some of your projects. And I mean, sometimes it's not about the car, right? Sometimes it's just about hanging out with friends and building something cool together, which Will and I and Kimber and even some of the guys in the shop have all contributed to working on Soccer Mom. But the Cutlass is obviously a build where we are starting from pretty much nothing. And what Will and I are doing here is cutting out those areas where the factory floor went across the car originally. So basically cutting those pieces out so that there's none of the stock floor remaining, and it's just the original kind of rocker boxes that went down the side of the car under the door. And by doing that, it's allowing me to get the roll cage out to be as wide as possible at the base. So basically the main hoop, is right out against the frame rail and all the way down onto the frame rail. So not only will I weld the main hoop to the tube on the bottom as it goes up the frame rail on the side, I will also weld it up there just for even more support. So Eddie came in to work on some of his stuff too, which this was actually Saturday that we were filming this. And you can see I'm taking a bunch of different measurements now. There's a couple of different ways I've done main hoops through the years, and this one, the way I'm doing them now, I'm going to show you more in depth right after we get done measuring this video, and it'll be in real time starting right now. All right, well, now that we've got the car cut, we're going to come in here and design a main hoop. And Will was asking how I do that, so I figured maybe you guys would want to see too. And yeah, Will's here. Hi, Will. If everybody didn't see him in the thing. And this is actually for another video, but that's the new burnout car engine. So a little sneak peek of what's coming. So anyway, I use a program called Bend Tech, and we are going to start with a new, new tube. We'll go to template. It's going to have 4 bends in it, which I'm already on 4 from the transmission hoop. It's actually fairly simple. We go and take 1 5/8 083. 1 5/8 083 Rogue Fab bender. And then I took a bunch of measurements, and we are going to, see down here we can set, this button is for outside dimensions, so we'll set that to outside dimensions. The width at the base is 54. The width at the widest part is 56. The total height is 43, and I'm going to say 44 because I know I'm going to notch it some. And then that's the dimension from there, which we had figured out was 18. So 18, and then that's where it's going to, oh yeah, because I haven't entered the top there. That'd be kind of a funny main hoop. So for the top there, I think 38 may get the job done. So there's already our design, and it tells us how much to cut, what that bar weighs, and then how far to measure from the beginning of the pipe. So 18.211, and then we bend that to 32 degrees on the bender, and then it actually springs back to 29. So these are the numbers we're wanting to end up with. These are the numbers we actually bend to, all those dimensions. And if all my measurements are right, it should work. So I took another measurement. So minus 3 inches from the top, I have to be narrower than 45 inches. So we've got a nifty little feature here. We can go to tasks, verify. We're going to free select. So let's say first we'll figure out about where 3 inches is. So that's 3, yeah, right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this dimension right here, the outside. And it'll let me draw a line straight across. Oh, okay. So that's 41 inches. So I think I can be a good bit wider on the top. So I was kind of guessing here a little bit. And I'm gonna go jump in the car, measure a couple things, and then we'll finalize this. And the next thing we'll show you is cutting and bending the bar. So by the sounds of that last clip, you might have realized that I sped up some real-time footage, keeping all of the audio intact, trying something a little different, you know, just trying to change things up for you guys so they're not always the same all the time. But right now I'm marking out the marks where to put the clamp blocks that you see me bolting on there. That's where that gets located in the Rogue Fab bender to grab a hold of the bar and pull it around the die, and that's how the bender bends tubing. So it's kind of a neat deal how it all works, and it does lead to some very repeatable bends, which is awesome, especially when you're trying to fit bent bars, you know, really tight to different areas of the car. And I've kind of left the sped up audio in the background. Just seems like it's kind of funny. Little chipmunk talking is kind of what it makes it sound like when the audio is sped up, and then that makes it where the air ram isn't nearly as loud either. So the Rogue Fab uses an air over hydraulic ram to make the, you know, that kind of wheel there twist around and bend the tube. So it makes it where you don't have to manually do it, which is really nice. And that is what I started out with, so it's not like you cannot accomplish some really good results with a more basic bender. But having the automatic stuff is really nice, I will admit that. So one big thing to consider when you are bending up a main hoop is you have to make sure that you are bending in the same plane. Because if you rotate the tube at all between each bend, well, now they're not going to be in the same plane. You're going to have one leg of the main hoop that ends up way ahead of or behind the other. And as you may can imagine, that doesn't really work out all that well. So now that we've got the last bend made here, let's go back to real time and see if it fits in the car.
Come on.
All right, so we'll put it right behind the bar.
This will be like sick week, one and done.
Oh, you just jinxed it, Will.
I know.
You jinxed it. Oops, get the flashlight.
Something did come over. Bends too much. Bends too much.
Well, it's probably this bend. But we'll take it, we'll push it out. Easy peasy.
How can you do that?
Oh yes, as long as you're in your I do say, by the time that gets nice, that's going to be pretty dang close. Fix that, I got a finger there. Yeah, that's something. By the time that goes up. Oh, yeah! I'm like, how much gap you got right here?
Not quite a finger.
Okay, perfect.
So how do you spread it back out?
Huh?
How do you spread it back out?
Push it.
Push it.
Good move. Close enough.
Good. Good enough for the girls we date.
We'll go. So actually that needs a little bit of a notch or a little bit of an angle because this isn't dead on, so I do have to make sure that I get that right. And this is going to be, no, that'll be straight up in the air. So, all right. Well, after all that, my whole bar.
I got it.
We're going to notch it, stick it in the car. All right. Well, this was supposed to be a longer time lapse of me welding in the main hoop, but the camera went dead while I was recording, and I didn't catch that it goes dead here in just a couple of seconds. So we got the main hoop in. You see we check it for level right there. It's like 0.2 of a degree off, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we should flip this thing around and see if it's level that way. And sure enough, 0.2 of a degree is now 0, and she's ready to weld in. So here we go. Whoops. Well, didn't take long for it to start raining. Good old Florida. But hopefully, like you guys saw in the time lapse, hope I caught it in the time lapse, we've got a main hoop. I mean, that's like real big deal, and it's tight. I mean, I gotta admit, to nail that one first shot and only have to do my little 1/2-inch notch on the bottom where it mates down to the main hoop there, I'm actually pretty proud of myself. So we got a 1/8 of an inch there. She just barely touches up there. The body isn't straight, which is why there's a gap over there, but this perfectly matches the horizontal there and the horizontal there. And now it's time to make a bar. And like I had kind of test fit it, we know that my seat will be forward of the main hoop. So we're gonna look at the rules, the chassis spec, and basically all of this stuff that's inside of the main hoop. The number 15 bar, that'll be the next one we make, and then the 2 number 18 bars, that all can be 1.5" 065. So gives us something to start off with. I think I can probably get 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibly. So I'm gonna triangulate from that bar. So 15 bar going across somewhere. I'm gonna read the spec and make sure there's not a height because it's been a while since I've done one. But we'll come off of that number 15 bar and tie to the triangulation bar for the torque box. So that basically I'm trying to make a path where the control arms are basically load path pulling all the way through to the double frame rail, which will tie into the mid-plate cross member, mid-plate hoop, whatever you want to call it. All right, it's starting to get exciting. All right, well, as I'm wrapping up this edit, I'm realizing that this video is going to be coming out on Easter. So wanted to wish everybody a happy Easter, and I hope you get to spend some good time with your family. And I am a Christian myself, and so this is obviously a very important holiday for us. And like I said, really hope you guys have a great holiday with your family. And once again, happy Easter. And let's get wrapped up with the video. All right, well, after a pretty full day here on it, we have a main hoop as well as the number 15 bar, according to the 25.3 spec, and the number 18 bars. And due to how far back we have put the main hoop, all of the funny car cage bars as well as the number 15 bar can all be 1.5 inches, 0.65, according to the spec book. So that'll save me a little bit of weight in there. But then we're going to add some extra weight back in because we're going to go from here to there. And then we're going to go from up here where the door bar lands down to this pad here, as long as it clears the tub. So I got to do some stuff to mock up the tub. You can see I had to cut it out and just cut my finger on it. But had to cut that out because these were installed when the old frame was mini tubbed. So we're gonna, or the old frame was notched. So I needed to do that to make it clear. But this is starting to feel like something, not gonna lie. And I've got the mid-plate video, or mid-plate tube in, which you saw in the last video, and there will be some bars somehow or other tied to that then tie back to that cross member there. Phew, I'm tired. It's time for me to go home and edit this video. So, appreciate everybody watching, following along, subscribing. Thank you all that have been buying some merch here lately. Much appreciated. Helps me justify taking a little bit of extra time to work on my own stuff when the views for the video and the little extra merch purchases help us bring in a little bit extra money. So, and yeah, there's going to be some kind of Cutlass t-shirt, stickers, something coming soon, maybe a rendering of what I'm thinking. I think we need to make that happen. So maybe that'll be our next new merch item. And anyways, I'm going home. See ya.